So when I was in ninth grade, I almost witnessed a fight during lunch. Now, when I was in ninth grade, I sat at this lunch table with a group of friends. Now, I wasn't friends with these people. We just sat at the same lunch table. I knew some of the people because they were in some of my classes, but that's all. Anyways, so at lunch, I would notice this friend group. Some of them would have lunches and some of them would not, and they'll just sit at the table and talk. Now I guess this friend group had a rule that everyone followed, that if you weren't eating lunch and someone who was eating lunch came over to the table, you had to get up so they can eat it at the table. Now there was this one girl who I guess never agreed to this rule or something, because it seems like every time someone went over to try to sit down, she would never move. And every time someone tells her to move, she would just start arguing with them and saying she shouldn't move and they can find somewhere else to sit or just stand up and eat their food. Anyways, this went on, I feel for a couple months, and I don't know if anything happened outside of school, but I know it was they really didn't start liking this girl, and one day I'm pretty sure she just all of a sudden one day they just started stopped dealing with her always taking a spot from people who had lunches, because one day the whole friend group started arguing of her, and it was a kind of a big argument. Nothing to draw attention from other tables, but it was just pretty big. It caused a scene. As the argument kept happening, she just got up and sat at a different table, and that was the last time I felt she ever sat at the table. She never sat at the table again, but she would always glance near the table. She sat next to the table that was right next to the table she originally sat at. So she had she could have kept a view on her friends, but I don't think they were friends anymore at this point. And a couple of months go by again, and I guess everyone stopped talking to her apparently, except for this one girl. She still had her on Snapchat. And one day I noticed one girl in the friend group, she, I guess, they had an argument early in the day because during lunch they were just arguing with each other from the table, calling each other names and stuff. Eventually they just stopped yelling at each other and just went back there into whatever they were doing, talking to their friends or eating their lunch. Then all of a sudden, the girl who was still friends with the person who left the friendship group texted her something on Snapchat. Now I don't know what it was at the time, or what it was really, but it must have been bad, and it was talking trash about the girl she was having an argument with that day. Because once she showed her the text messages on Snapchat, she looked angry after she saw what she texted her. So it was shocking, because she looked at it. Must have been shocking or something, because she was pissed. Anyways, so she decided to, I guess, ignore it the first time, but then she sent something else that must have been worse, because eventually she was angry about it and was ready about to go. She went over to the table that she was sitting at to confront her. One of her friends, she was able to get one of her friends, and I'm pretty sure her boyfriend, to come over and to confront the girl. They went over and they started arguing with each other. and it was like really loud that like people were nosing. And then one, like her friend and boyfriend, started like chanting "fight," which started causing a crowd, and then people started circling them and chanting "fight." And as these girls were still arguing, everyone in the cafeteria was surrounding this table. People were like standing up on tables, pulling out their phones, recording this thing. And I was sitting at the table still, and I didn't know what was going on at the time. I'm pretty sure they never like got up and fight. All they were was arguing. Eventually, the teachers came and like stopped everyone, stopped like the riot, and took the girls to the principal's office. I'm pretty sure they were like suspended for like a day for causing a riot. And that was like the last time I ever saw them talk to each other. They just ignored each other after that day. And like the friends would like ask the one girl who eventually, I'm pretty sure, unfriended her on Snapchat after this incident, like what the Snapchat messages was. And she never really said what it was, but it was just bad. And that's like the time I almost witnessed a fight at my school. If you liked the video, please subscribe and like, and maybe I'll try to upload more. Bye.